What are you doing? Huh? G'day folks, beautiful day out here on the property once again. Today I wanted to try a tool called the beam machine. Yes sir. This is an inexpensive way to, well, as it says right on it, turn logs into lumber. So I've had this thing for a few years. Works fairly well for what it is. Attaches to any chainsaw and away it goes. So I thought I'd make a little video about it and see what you think. We got some prep to do before then though. We got to let's see, we got to get some chains on the quad on the old Yamaha Kodiak. We need to sharpen up the chainsaw. We need to fuel up the chainsaw and oil up the chainsaw and get the chainsaw all running and get all that stuff in order. And then we need some logs. And there is a down past the beaver pond along the road allowance, there's a tree that fell over a couple of years ago, pretty good size and diameter, and it just got sort of cut and moved, and it's been sitting there drying for, I don't know, a year at least. So I thought those might be good candidates. They're big straight round pieces, and so we'll go grab a couple of those. We'll bring them back and we'll do that. But like I say, we've got a bit of prep to do first, so let's get started on some prep work. So I think this is a pretty good candidate for trying out the beam machine. It's a nice straight piece, nice wide piece. Aspen or poplar, I don't know. This one came down in a windstorm, probably a year, maybe even 2 years ago, year and a half. Anyway, live tree came down, and so it's been sitting here drying. And if I let it sit much longer, it's going to end up being rotten, because this kind of wood tends to rot pretty quick. So I think it's okay still, and I think I can get a couple of good 8-foot sections out of it, and we'll see if we can't haul them back up that hill, as long as it's not too slippery. We've got the chains on now, so that'll help. But yeah, I think it should be good. It's probably about, I don't know, maybe 10 inches in diameter, so it's a good candidate for the beam machine to give it a go. All right, let's get cut up. Alright, now the challenge is going to be see how frozen to the ground that thing is, and see if we can actually pull it out of here with this quad. We may have missed a better opportunity in the spring. When the ground wasn't quite so frozen. But, see what we can do. Take two. Alright, on to the next one. That one was a little heavier. A little heavier. Oh. Now, there is one more chunk down there. It's a longer one, but not quite as big around. I think I'll try and go grab that too, because it looked like a pretty decent piece. That would be good for firewood. So, yeah, we'll get to one more and we'll be ready. Alright, well, that last piece was frozen solid into the ground, so that'll have to wait till spring. But this will do for today. Like I say, I really just wanted to try out that beam machine and give it a go. And I think any one of these logs will do that just fine. I might try this big fat guy right here. Give that one a go. So let's maybe get one of those prepped up, grab a beer, and do that. What do you think? Yeah, you good with that? Okay. 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 Come on. So the first thing you got to do with these things, what you want to do is mount a 2x4 along the length of the one you want to cut. I think I want to get it up off the ground first, just a little ways, so I don't dig my bar and chain into the ground. So I think what I'll do is I'll think I'm going to do this one, and I think I'll get a couple of little logs just to throw under there. Okay, so we've got her raised up off the ground on a couple of logs. Next thing to do is get this, and I also shaved off a few of the high spots with the saw, just so it's a little bit flatter an area for the 2x4 to get down on there. So the next thing to do is to put that 2x4 on. Now, where did I put my screws? There they are. So, I find works best if you have, I'm going to start at this end and work our way back down the log this way. And I find it works best if you have a little bit of overhanging off the back end. You can, but it's not always possible. So we're going to try and get the log as far this way as possible. And you want to just kind of line her up with where you want to make your first cut. Something like that, I think. Looks about right to me. Just to cut that edge slab off. So, it's a little precarious. We'll try it. So, with that on there, I'm going to be able to make a nice clean cut all the way down. Next thing to do is mount that guy on that chainsaw. So let's get that mounted up. Oh. Alright, so as far as mounting this thing, basically this guy here is just going to mount onto your bar on the side, and you got a couple of set screws that just bolt up against your bar and hold her all on there. So that basically just in front of your biting in tines there, and then just a standard crescent wrench just to tighten it up. So let's see if we can get that to tighten up. Okay, so I think we're on there. So on this side, you got the 2 bolts just tightened down. Now you want to make sure you've got lots of play and that there's some space in between here where you're able to have your chain slide through still. But that should be pretty mature for the setup. Alright, so here's your first cut. I think that wood's still a little wet. Whew. Alright, so as you can see, it does cut slabs. And pretty straight. I would say that is a fairly straight cut. They're a little rough because it's, you know, a chainsaw going up and down and up and down and up and down. It's not like a bandsaw going across it, but it does do it. This wood, it turns out, is a lot wetter than I thought it was, and so it's actually a little frozen inside. And so in an attempt not to completely burn my saw out, I think I will wait for these logs to dry a little bit more before I start cutting actual boards off of these particular logs, because they are fairly wet still. But yeah, I mean, it's tiring, it's a little back-breaking. I wouldn't say this is a good way to make lumber if you have a building project, but if you want to get a couple of, you know, rough face slabs, you know, some live edge slabs for a couple of projects, for some shelving or for something like that, I think this is a pretty cheap and viable option. I think I paid about 50 bucks for this guy. This was, where did I get this one? I can't remember. It's made by Quadra Tools in somewhere in BC. Often replicated, but yeah, this is the original, the beam machine. So like I say, it does an okay job if you want to do just sort of small scale stuff, a few small projects, not the kind of thing you want to be, you know, building a shed with or anything like that. But there it is, 50 bucks, can't go wrong with that, just to make a couple of live edge slabs and to get that kind of work done. So there you have it, beam machine. Like I say, I will, I'll maybe do another video once these logs have had the winter to dry, and we can try and make some boards out of them once they're dry, but I don't want to burn my saw out trying to get this. I'm sure I will get asked, so I am running just a steel 291 saw. That is about the minimum power I think you would want for something like this. I've got a little Husqvarna 240 as well, which is just I don't know, 35 cc or something like that, 33 maybe. And I wouldn't even attempt this with that saw. This has got an 18-inch bar on it. You know, anything around here, this is about as big a tree as we have around here. It's poplar and aspen, so they die before they get bigger than that. So I think that's a reasonable bar length, but more power would certainly help out, for sure. You'd get through that a little quicker. Yeah, there it is, beam machine. thanks folks. Keep watching for more videos like this if you like this kind of stuff. And we'll see you next time. Okay.